Titanic's the saddest movie you ever seen. I Still Believe is like, hold my sparkling white grape juice. What's up, everybody? I'm Brad, and I'm alone tonight in Nashville, Tennessee, in my basement with my toys, and that's it. I'm not drinking anything. I just had a huge Coke Zero at the theater. Tonight, I got to go see I Still Believe, which comes out in a couple weeks. I was very privileged to get early screening passes for this movie, which is really cool. I just want to say thank you to Lionsgate for making that happen. And I got to go with my son, which was a really fun experience. This movie tells the story of Christian artist Jeremy Camp and his wife's struggle and battle with cancer. This stars an actor, I don't know his name, and an actress whose name I also do not know. But it also stars Gary Sinise as Jeremy Camp's father, and someone who apparently is Shania Twain. Didn't really realize that as Jeremy's mom. Literally looked nothing like Shania Twain as I remember her. Well, we'll leave that at that. So as a disclaimer, I am a Christian, but I don't see many of these Christian movies. They're just not good. And when I was growing up, they were awful, okay? They were very low budget. Just think of Left Behind series from starring Kirk Cameron, and you know what I mean. Okay, but they're getting better funding these days, and they're getting better actors, and they really stepped their game up. To be honest, I never would have seen this movie if I didn't have free passes to it. So I'm very thankful that I got to go and hear this story. First of all, for my up thumbs. Unlike the Christian movies of the old days, this is an actual movie with real acting and emotion. It really builds up their love story and spends the whole first hour telling how they meet and fall in love. It then spends a half hour priming you for what eventually is the emotional murder of your soul, and then leaves you with 5 minutes of hope at the end. Well played, Christian movie. The guy, hold on, what's his name? Let's see. Let's give him some credit. KJ Appa, whatever. That guy who plays Jeremy Camp, he's excellent in this movie. I really bought what he was selling, and I hope to see him do more. It was a very emotional role for him to pull off, and he crushed it. I totally bought what he was selling. The girl who plays his wife, Melissa, I just looked it up. Her name is Britt Robertson. She was also great, and I really just felt like I was watching a regular big budget, big name acting in this movie across the board, really. And I know he won't get the credit, he never does, but Gary Sinise's performance as Jeremy's father was such a big up thumb for me. And it reminds me of how great and yet underappreciated this guy was. Hashtag Lieutenant Dan. And I really would like to see him get some recognition for his supporting role in this movie. And like I said, apparently Shania Twain is in this. Someone who's calling themselves Shania Twain. It looks nothing like her, but she's in it. Also, not going to look up his name for you, but the guy who played their friend, Jean-Luc, he was also really good in this too, and he packed a very good emotional punch as well. But apparently, the goal of this movie is basically to pound you to death with emotion until you die from sadness. It's in the trailer. It's not a spoiler. The wife gets cancer. Even Titanic wasn't so brutal to drag out like half an hour worth of a movie, basically expecting you to cry like the whole time, which is what I felt like I needed to be doing. For like 26 minutes, I'm like, I had tears piling up and layering up on top of each other, like pools of tears that I just refused to release. I mean, my son was with me. I can't cry in front of my child, right? And the whole entire time this is going on, I'm like terrified that Gary Sinise is gonna hit me one more time in the feels with that Gary Sinise sad face. And I'm just gonna explode in this quiet theater. Just, ah! But all in all though, seriously, this movie is about faith in God and hope and belief in his promises. I'm a fan of Jeremy Camp's music, but knowing this backstory, it really adds a lot of depth to what I've been listening to for the past 10 years or whatever. It has quite a few, like in the first hour of the movie, has quite a few cute, funny parts. And it really sold a believable love story. Also, it got me, it's gonna get you too. I'm not gonna spoil it for you. But just wait for the part near the end, and I'm just going to say with the guitar on the floor, no spoiler, guitar on the floor, if you don't lose control of your tear ducts at that point, you may not have a soul. Okay, just saying, you may not have a soul. And now for my down thumbs. There's not a lot here. A lot of up thumbs in this movie, very few down thumbs. I'm very, very pleasantly surprised. Whilst the bar may have seemed low going in, it raised the bar for future like Christian movies or whatever, spiritual movies. This movie is just savage on the feels to the point of like being unfair. Like, I mean, I'm in this theater, I can't really leave, but I just want to go cry in a corner by myself. So I'm going to give it half a down thumb for that because it was just brutal. Brutal! And I do have one small, actual serious beef. The guy who's playing Jeremy Camp, that he was a great actor, and while he looked enough like Jeremy Camp, might have looked, I guess, his singing voice didn't sound anything like Jeremy Camp. I would expect a movie that spent so much time and took so much care to tell this true story to find an actor with a similar range, a similar voice, or you maybe even dub a voice over when he's singing. But that was just a kind of a nitpick. But for me, it didn't take me out of the movie, but it definitely, when the songs were playing, I was like, this is not Jeremy Camp's voice. Like, it's not even close. This sounds like a teenager, a pop punk teenager singer. And lastly, it could have been like 10 minutes shorter. The agony was prolonged. There's really not a lot to gripe about here. I hope it gets good reviews, and I hope that many people are able to hear this great story. Now it's time for me to give my final thumb rating for the movie. You know, all in all, I highly recommend this actually as a date movie, a chick flick movie. The first hour or so of this movie absolutely is a chick flick style movie, and the middle is just this build up to just this brutal sadness. But I'm going 8.5 thumbs on this movie. I really, really enjoyed it. Like I said, the bar was low, so maybe I'm giving a little extra credit, but I feel like it earned its thumbs tonight. So there we go. Take that for what you will. Sean and I appreciate you guys so much. We're up to like 72 subscribers right now. It's just so amazing that it's like a room full of y'all that we get to talk to. And that is so exciting, and we are so thankful for you guys. Remember that when you watch, always watch from a distance.